In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal to you why this ugly, low-quality video ad did over $250,000 in sales, what it is that I did, the full breakdown, the numbers, the funnel, and how you can be applying these principles as well. And as you watch till the end of this video, you'll be able to see, first of all, why it's profitable and why when it comes to creating ads just like this one, when you model it, doesn't require you to have fancy cameras, it doesn't need to have high production value, and why shooting it from my iPhone that was just under 2 minutes long was a really profitable campaign. The campaign that I would like you to take a look at is the campaign that is over here. Okay, now this campaign right here, we have spent approximately $46,000 on this one campaign over here. In this campaign, the ad is actually a really boring, ugly, unprofessional ad. Now, if you take a look at this, it says here, videos challenge retargeting. Now, what is this video ad over here? Now, this video ad over here is literally this ad right here. I'm going to walk you through the funnel and why it works and why it was profitable. But if you take a look at this ad right now, I'm just kind of expand this ad over here. It literally just says, you know, I noticed that you visited the videos challenge page, but somehow you didn't take action, right? So this ad you're seeing over here is under this campaign. Based on this ad campaign that we have spent over $46,000 on, it has done well over 7x return on ad spend when calculated over lifetime value per customer. And that's why this ad campaign has been very profitable. And this is an ad that I shot this maybe about 3 years ago, that's still running and active today. Okay, so the question is why and how can you apply these same principles as well, right? So you could be in a different market, a different niche, a different industry. How can you apply these same principles? Well, it's fairly easy, right? So if you take a look at this video and the scripting of this, first of all, when does a person see this ad? Well, this person sees this ad if they landed on this page here, which is videos challenge. It's one of my funnels, teaching and showing people how to strategically create marketing videos, 21 videos in 21 days. And basically, this is a typical sales video with a sales letter and offer over here. And ultimately, the different testimonials, social proof, and this is what the page looks like, right? So at the end of this page, they're given the opportunity to join the challenge. And this is where we send the audience to. Now, this audience will only see this page or this ad if they visited videoschallenge.com, but if they didn't buy. So if they visited this page but didn't buy, this is the only time this video or this ad would pop up, right? So this would be a typical retargeting ad. And if you don't know what retargeting is, first of all, be sure to subscribe to the channel, watch my other related videos on targeting and retargeting. Be sure to binge watch the entire playlist after you watch this video if you don't know what retargeting is. But basically, if your audience visited your page, you should be tracking them, and you should have ads that follows up with these people that visit your page but if they didn't buy, right? So if they visit the page but if they didn't buy, that's when they would see this video. So the question is, why does this video do well? Okay, so let's just play this video. First of all, you can see this video isn't long. Okay, let me just quickly play you this video.
Notice you visited my page videos challenge, but somehow you didn't take up the challenge. Hey, this is Peng Joon here, and I know one of the most common things people tell me on why they're not doing video marketing is because they say either they find it really scary, they don't know what to say, or they say that I don't have the right gear, the right equipment. And the truth is, you really don't. Well, right now, I'm in a really awkward position talking to you on my iPhone while squatting down in the middle of my living room. And the truth is,
okay, let me just pause this right here. Okay, so notice what I'm doing right now. The framework, if you want to create good retargeting ads that has got really good return on ad spend, notice what I did. Okay, step number 1 of the ad framework is acknowledging the step that they took. Notice the copy says the same thing. I noticed that. Notice what? I noticed that you visited page but didn't take action. So for you, you could be selling a totally different thing. How would that scripting sound like? It would be, I noticed that you visited my webinar page but you didn't register, right? It could be, I noticed that you registered but you didn't show up. I noticed that you showed up, but you didn't take action, right? You didn't invest. I noticed that you went all the way to a checkout page, but you didn't invest in the offer. So you could have a totally different funnel. It could be getting somebody to apply for a strategy call. So we notice it would be, I noticed that you visited our page, but you didn't apply for a strategy call. Or maybe they applied for a strategy call, but they didn't show up. Then it would be, I noticed that you applied for a strategy call, but you didn't show up on a call, right? So depending on the step that they did, notice it always starts off with step number 1, which is the acknowledge. Now notice what I did. Once I acknowledged it, it would be, and perhaps one of the reasons why you didn't take action is maybe you thought to yourself, you needed fancy camera equipment in order to do this video challenge. You thought you weren't ready, maybe. So notice what are these things that I'm doing? I am answering an objection. And notice how I'm doing it. Listen to this carefully.
Comes down to your messaging more than the post-production, more than fancy editing, more than the lighting, more than all of that. Right now, I am shooting a really amateur video on my iPhone, and the truth is, messaging will always be way more important than gear.
Okay, so let me just pause this. Okay, so let me exit this for a second. Now notice what I'm doing right now. It's this. Okay, so I started off by acknowledging the steps. Okay, so if you want to be able to create good retargeting ads, now why is it that I can spend close to $50,000 on this one ad, which seems insane, right? It is because for every dollar that I'm spending on this ad here, it makes back over $7 return on ad spend over a lifetime value of the customer. So if you want to be able to retarget people, model this. Okay, so step number 1 is acknowledge. How do you acknowledge? This was the step you took. I noticed that you visited page but you didn't check out. I noticed that. So acknowledge the step that you did. I noticed that you registered for the webinar but somehow I didn't see you there, right? It will be why. Okay, number 2 is then, notice what I did. I went to address the objection. Why didn't you show up? Perhaps were you busy? Why didn't you claim a free copy of the lead magnet? Was it because maybe you thought it's not applicable to you? I noticed that you didn't join us for this videos challenge. Maybe you thought it's not for you because you're shy, you're introverted, you're too old to do this, you're too young to do this. But whatever it is, you want to think about what was the reason they probably did not do that step. Okay, sometimes it's not just money. Right, so notice for me, the reason is not because of money. I didn't say, oh, probably, you couldn't afford this investment. But I always want to think about what is something that is beyond money, right? So perhaps, my objection that I was answering is, perhaps you thought to yourself you needed fancy camera equipment, you thought you weren't ready, right? So notice what I did. Like literally, this video is a little bit meta because I am showing you what needs to be done and said, that you don't need fancy camera equipment by literally showing them, right? Literally, I place the camera on the floor over here and I'm literally just speaking to the phone right over here. So all I'm doing is I'm answering this objection of, you don't need fancy equipment in order to create good strategic videos that helps you get more leads or sales. And once I answer the objection, that is when, right? It could be one objection, it could be 3 different objections, but in most cases, I like to keep my retargeting videos to target one objection. So as you can see here, this one, the one objection, what am I answering? I'm answering, well, you don't need fancy gear, and that good messaging will always beat fancy production value. And that is when I'm doing a call to action to the next step of the funnel. What makes a good retargeting script is to get them to go to the next step that is required of them. So now the next step is to go back to the funnel and take me up on this challenge, right? So what you want to do is to understand that retargeting varies depending on your funnel. So your funnel, you could have 2 steps. It could be 5 steps. It could be 3 steps. And what you want to do is you always want to make sure that you have an ad, just like this one over here, that sends them to the next step of the funnel. So maybe they visited but didn't register. Then you want to have an ad that does the same thing here. Same thing if they registered but maybe they didn't show up. You want to have an ad to make sure now they show up. Maybe they showed up but didn't take you up on that offer or show up on a strategy call. You want to have an ad that sends them there. So because you're targeting a very small laser focused audience, That is how you'll be able to minimize your ad cost while maximizing your margins, right? So the question is, from a tactical perspective, how do you do this? If you don't know how to do this, the way you do it is basically just going to your audience, going to custom audience, and going to target them based on website. Now, I'm not going to go into the full retargeting strategy and how to do it inside Facebook, because I've got a lot of other videos that does that. If you don't know how to do that, and if you want to be able to take your ad targeting game to a whole new level, be sure to watch my other related videos on retargeting in order to maximize, especially with this iOS 14 update, when everything, a lot of marketers are in a state of fear, how you can double down and start scaling when everybody else is pulling the handbrake. Okay, so I hope this video gave you good insights on how you can be utilizing retargeting and why it is absolutely crucial to do that, because if you're not, you're going to be leaving a ton of money on the table. So guys, if you found value, let me know in the comments below. What are some of your biggest takeaways? As you guys know, we choose about 1 to 3 different comments to give away our trainings, our live event tickets. So let me know below what is your biggest takeaway, and be sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos just like this one, so that you constantly stay updated. If you want to get really good at Facebook, be sure to binge watch my entire Facebook ad playlist that's going to appear in front of you right now in about 5 seconds. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2.